Waste to World of Sports, ahoy! Happy New Year. Ollie is the best. Hope you're having a very good 2025 so far. All what? Not very long. Well, not very long here. Just over 12 hours. Hope everyone's having a good time. Hope you partied hard, but partied safe. That's the important thing. Party hard, but party safe. To kick off the new year in fine style, it's more Big Bash. Now, I was going through my Facebook memories, and I've noticed a theme for New Year's Day. My team has let me down. Throughout the course of history on Facebook memories, my status updates have pretty much just been me having a big whinge about being a Brisbane Heat supporter. So I'm going out on a limb and assuming that New Year's Day bashes don't usually fall the way of the Brisbane Heat. And it's interesting that they come up against the Melbourne Stars today, yet to win a game. Somehow, it is beyond comprehension that the Melbourne Stars are yet to win a game in BBL 14. I've got a feeling, just a sneaky little feeling. Look, I've gone for the Brisbane Heat. The Brisbane Heat are my team. There is no worse feeling in the world than having to back against your team or deciding to back against your team and they get up and win. No worse feeling in the world. So, look, I've stuck with my team. I've gone for them, but I've gone for them with absolutely no confidence whatsoever. I feel like the Melbourne Stars are due, and I feel like they've got a golden opportunity here against a team that I've said, obviously they struggle on New Year's Day bashes. So we'll have to see. This could be their time. Time for the Melbourne Stars to get a victory on the board. Honestly, I'm slightly leaning towards them. I've just got this feeling. I've got this horrible sense of foreboding in the pit of my stomach. As a Brisbane Heat supporter, we have the ability to lose these sorts of games constantly. So we'll see. I reckon it could be an upset on the cards. The Melbourne Stars potentially to get their first victory of the season. That said, look, I've stuck true to my team. I've tipped the Brisbane Heat. I've loaded up the Brisbane Heat in my multi just to try and will them along. But I've just got this feeling. It could be the Stars' day. Duckett, man of the match. Duckett, honestly, I've got to feel sorry for him. Well, he used to play for the Brisbane Heat, of course. Ben Duckett, I believe in BBL 13. 12 or 13. Ben Duckett was a Brisbane Heat player. And I think he's probably the unluckiest player in the competition at the moment. What I mean for that, unlucky because he's going so well. Probably, if I were picking a team of the tournament so far, even though we're only a few weeks into it, if I were picking a team of the tournament, Ben Duckett is probably the first name on my list when I'm picking a batting lineup. And for him to have not experienced a victory yet with how well he personally is traveling along is just a little bit of a travesty. You know what? The more I talk, the more I am heavily leaning in favor of the Stars. They've also won the bat flip and elected to bowl first. But we've seen from the past couple of games, that's been a little bit of a curse. The team winning the bat flip, electing to field, have failed to chase down the total. So, who knows? Look, I'm saying I've sat on the fence all pre-game, so let me make an actual prediction. I've got to say that history on New Year's Day, based on my Facebook updates, and the Melbourne Stars are too good a team to have not had a victory yet. I reckon it's the Stars' day. Let's predict, despite the fact that I have tipped the Brisbane Heat, let's predict the Melbourne Stars to win. Welcome along there, everybody on TikTok. Happy New Year. Will Main says, it's our time finally. Come on, the Stars. Ladder777 says, up the Canes. The Canes, of course, absolutely smashing the Sydney Sixers at the moment. The Sydney Sixers, their first defeat of the tournament. Jason Hayden, you've got Melbourne to win, into Max to get a 10+. I have got Glenn Maxwell. Oh, hang on. Glenn Maxwell or Max Bryant? Because I've got Glenn Maxwell to hit a 6 tonight. I've got Ben Duckett to hit a 6. I don't see too much big hitting from Brisbane, but I do see a little more consistency in the batting tonight. Maybe not big hitting, but racking up some runs along the turf. Phil Main says, watch Brisbane play well, only because they're playing us. We'll see. The Stars are overdue. They're too good a team. Honestly, you go through that team sheet and you wonder how they haven't won a game yet. It's unreal. Jasper T says Stars to come last this year. Look, it's more than likely exactly what's going to happen, but they can come last and still win a few games. And I've got them winning here. I don't think a team's ever gone through BBL without winning at least one. You know what? I've talked myself well and truly into this. I'm going to go ahead and change my tip. This might be the worst thing that I've ever done. Where's my phone? Here. This might be the craziest thing I've ever done. Oh, look at the turnout there at the Gabba. That is a solid turnout. You don't win tipping contests without taking risks. And a risk I will take. I've switched my tip. Look, I will forever be a Brisbane Heat supporter. But it's okay to lose. I don't think the Brisbane Heat are going to go back-to-back and win again this year. So let's go ahead and make it official. Melbourne Stars to win. They've won the bat flip and elected to field first. Chasing at the Gabba, never easy though. But it was the common sense decision. Big Tom Banton on his way out to the crease with Jimmy Peirson, I would assume. Jimmy Pearson's not a bloody opener though. I stand by that. Oh, and it looks like, is that not Jimmy Peirson? Oh, is it too late to change my tip back? Spencer Johnson is such a good bowler. He had a shocker last time out. An absolute abysmal time last time out, so he's certainly due for a big bowling performance. Banton opening the batting. So my multi, the first start of the multi is McSweeney and Munro for 10+ runs, Renshaw for 20+, and Usama to take a wicket. The Hobart Hurricanes demolished the Sydney Sixers in the game before this one. 6 for 161, the Hurricanes set. And they bowled the Sixers out for 111. The Sydney Sixers winning the bat flip, I'm fairly certain, and electing to field first. The Brisbane Heat are batting first. The Stars won the toss, and they elected to bowl. The Stars are going to be desperate. They've got the team capable of winning. Somehow they haven't won a game yet this season. They will be desperate because they're not out of it. The beauty of BBL 14 so far is everybody seems to be beating everybody. The Stars are not out of finals contention with a win here. That's the craziness of the competition. Colin Munro and Tom Banton to open the batting. So I need Colin Munro for 10+. Is it time for him to come good? Three seconds to go. Who's got the ball for the Stars? The Heat, if they get a win, they go back into the top 4. First delivery, drifting onto the legs, and it's turned away down to deep fine leg for just a single. A little bit of a loosener to open up. And Tom Banton off the mark. None for one off the first ball. Drifting onto the legs, though. Probably got away with a little bit of a loosener. Swing and a miss outside off. Nice movement away from the batsman. Harris getting some swing nice and early. A dot ball. Down the pitch goes Munro, charges the ball, and he comes up with nothing but air. And another dot ball. Interesting start here from Colin Munro. Unnecessary aggression is how I would describe it. Oh, it's a no ball. Well, this is a let off. It's going to be a free hit. That's a huge let off. Munro gets a free hit. Top edges it. It goes straight up in the air. It's a free hit, so he can't be out. The catch is taken by Ben Duckett. But it was a free hit. So that ultimately amounts to nothing. No damage done off the free hit for either team. I suspect, though, that you can still be run out off a free hit. You have to be able to be run out off a free hit. Harris, beautiful shape on that delivery again. He's getting some good swing back into the right-handed Banton. And all he can do is fend it away for no run. Magnificent turnout, really, on a New Year's Day at the Gabba. Not a full house by any stretch of the imagination, but a decent turnout nonetheless. Peirson again. A straight delivery this time. A miscommunication. A direct hit would have had the runners absolutely stone cold stranded. Missing the stumps, though, and they come through for the single. What a risky single it was. Hesitation. Didn't know whether they were going or not. And he was out by about 2 meters if that hits. Shaky start here for the Brisbane Heat. Some really risky, poor running there. Last delivery of the over. Again, beautiful late swing. And Colin Munro comes up with nothing but air as he hangs the bat out. None for 3 off the first over. Brisbane Heat. Not a good start. Mads, ahoy there. Welcome back. Sixers break their winning streak. Can the Stars break their losing streak? It is what I'm thinking, Mads. It is exactly what I'm thinking. We've started to reach that point in the tournament where everybody's coming up with a win and or a loss. And Mark Stoinis into the bowling attack. I'm pretty sure that Mark Stoinis is a former Heat player as well. There's former Heat players everywhere. A wide outside off stump. None for 5. Stoinis. Again, wide outside off stump, but Banton lifts it over the top of point for 4. And that's the first boundary here for the Heat. There was not a whole lot of authority in that shot, though, I've got to say. But over the top of Hilton Cartwright and away for 4. None for 9. Mads says that the Strikers game was so bad yesterday, the after show was better. The thing for the Strikers, though, is they got themselves back into the game. And, Banton just hangs the bat out. Stoinis gets some nice movement away from the batsman. Very unlucky to have beaten the edge. D-Funk, ahoy, mate. Maybe try refreshing the page, D-Funk. Would be my only suggestion. Pause. Everything's fine on my end. Big appeal for LBW. Travelling down the leg side, though, I believe. Umpire was not interested in that one at all. None for 10. They came through for a single. Sometimes Defunct YouTube is a very glitchy platform. Swing and a miss from Munro. Well, he's come up with air a lot tonight. I'm starting to lose a lot of faith in Colin Munro for 10-plus runs. Air swing after air swing. I'll shuffle myself over. I'll move myself over a little bit, though, is what I'll do. And again, Munro, swing and a miss. Off the body and away for no run. Is he just not seeing the ball at the moment, Colin Munro? One run off 6 deliveries. Tells the story for Munro at the moment. Stoinis with the final ball. It's chipped straight up in the air. Should be an easy catch. Off the top edge, and Lawrence at backward point. Back he goes, and there goes my multi. Thanks, Colin Munro. He never looked comfortable out there tonight, though, Munro. Number 1 empowerment community. Ahoy there, mate. And the Melbourne Stars take their first. Colin Munro. It was a very nervy-looking start for him, and he just prods at this one. He's through way too early on the swing. And a top edge goes straight up in the air. An easy catch for Lawrence. Will Main says, that's what I'm talking about. The Stars take their first wicket. It's 1 for 10. And I'm starting to feel a little bit more confident now about my change of selection. Very, very late, I changed my selection from the Heat to the Stars. The Stars won the bat flip, elected to bowl first. And when you do that, early wickets are key. And they've come up with one there. Colin Munro gone. McSweeney out to the crease now. Colin Munro's the new Chris Lynn. The Brisbane Heat player that always lets me down in a multi. One for 10, 4.62 and over. They're traveling at the moment. And this is potentially, well, 2.1 over's gone. They've still got time, but this is potentially one of the worst power plays that we've seen in BBL 14 so far. How are you doing over there on YouTube, Defunk? All good now? Banton just prods at this outside off stump, then not looking comfortable at all here, the Heat batsman. Harris. A straighter delivery that time. Banton was playing for the swing, was playing for the movement. Harris kept that one arrow straight. Yeah, sometimes YouTube has a tendency to play up. Goes for the big hit. This time Banton. Frustration. And all he can do is inside edge it away to the leg side for one run. 1 for 11. Stars on top early. Let's have a look at the odds. The Brisbane Heat were slight favourites with the bookies at the start of the night. $1.80 they were to the Stars, $2. I should imagine that that is slightly favouring the Stars now. Well, not even slightly. The Stars are now $1.55 favourites. The Heat have blown out to $2.40. That seems like a pretty big swing for so early in the game, right? Harris draws the stroke from McSweeney. And another big air swing. Well, this is intriguing, though, because I have been talking in previous games and in the lead-up to BBL 14, my concern for the Brisbane Heat was around their batting lineup. A very, very weak and fragile-looking batting lineup. How many air swings have we seen? Not just tonight, but from Brisbane Heat games in general. They seem to swing a lot of air. Paris is bowling well, though. 1 for 11. Just the single, and an unconvincing single at that, off this over. Very good bowling. And we're on the brink of the worst power play that we've seen in BBL 14 thus far. Paris with his final delivery. McSweeney advances down the pitch and drives it through cover. Stoinis tries to chase it down, slides after it, but the ball beats him to the fence. It was a good effort, though, from Marcus Stoinis. And they finished that over with a boundary, 1 for 15. 1 over left in the power play. And quite honestly, even if they hit 36 off this over, somehow they get 6 sixes and they get 36 from the over, it's still a relatively poor power play compared to what we've seen from other teams traveling around 11 or 12 runs and over. The Brisbane Heat at 5 and over. They're not really on par at the moment. Steckety coming into bowl his second. Well, these two bowlers have been doing the job at the moment, so stick with them, may as well. Banton on strike. Goes the ramp, gets hold of it. Banton sends it over the fence for 6. Well, we hate the ramp, but it does look mighty pretty when it comes off. And Banton got every piece of that. Well, the traditional cricket shots weren't working out for them, so they did need to try something to get a move along. One for 21, and maybe the 6 sixes are on here. Good start to the over. How does Steckety respond? A fuller ball outside of stump, edged and gone. Now, that is all as traditional as it gets. A full delivery swinging away from the right-handed batsman. Banton couldn't help but have a slog at that. Hangs the bat out the outside edge to the man in slip. Bravery from the Melbourne Stars to have a slip in place. And Glenn Maxwell eats that up. The Heat have lost their second. It's 2 for 21. That's good bowling, good captaincy, good cricket. Melbourne Stars on top. 2 for 21, 3.2 overs gone. I mean, that was just some beautiful cricket all round. The bowling absolutely on point. Mitch, ahoy there. Welcome along. You know, keeping the key bowlers in the attack. Matt Renshaw out to the crease now. Jimmy Charles asks, what's wrong with Munro? Oh, God. Munro was just not to the pace or the pitch of the ball at all tonight. So many air swings. And the wicket that he got out on, he was through that shot way too quickly. He did not get to the pace of the pitch at all. XJC, ahoy, mate. And Happy New Year to you too. Cheers. Whoops. McSweeney and Renshaw. This could be the key partnership here for the Brisbane Heat. If the Stars can break through this one early. A beautiful outswinging Yorker puts pressure on the runners as well now. Renshaw has to dive to make it into the non-striker's end, but Peter Siddle misses the stumps anyway. Mads looked away for an over, and they're 2 for 21. Well, they're two for 22. Oh. Cheers, Richie. Cheers, Richie, for everything. 2 for 22. 2 balls left of the power play. And it's been a shocker for the Brisbane Heat. McSweeney fends away for no run. Mitch asks who I go for in the BBL. I don't want to say. I go for the Brisbane Heat. Ollie is the best, says Philip is shouting you a party. Nice. Cheers, Philip. I love a good party. McSweeney, wide outside off stump, reaches at it. Absolutely didn't need to. It was going to be a wide. Risky stuff there from the Heat. Feeling the pressure, I think. I mean, that was so wide. McSweeney comfortably could have let that one go through. Final ball of the power play. Renshaw on strike just turns it off the pads. Through square leg for 1. 10 runs off that over. 2 for 25. They finish the power play. Melbourne Stars well on top. Brisbane Heat really, really poor going at the moment. Two for 25. Kozza on TikTok. Ahoy there, mate. Kozza asks for thoughts on Consta's performance. Well, I mean, look, he needs time. Obviously, it was a good first innings, a bad second innings. I personally feel sorry for McSweeney as Paris to bowl his third over. Ball with shape away from the left-hander. And it's edged away for one. I feel bad for McSweeney because he was selected and thrown in the deep end. McSweeney's not an opener. So I don't really know what the Australian selectors expected from McSweeney. Okay, he didn't exactly do well. But if you're going to pick somebody who's not an opener, as an opener at test level, you kind of have to give them time to adjust and adapt. Constance, at least, is a natural opener. But it will be interesting to see if they persist with him. Constance plays a very high-risk type of game. So we'll see. A few low scores. Getting himself out a few times cheaply to those ramp shots. And it'll be interesting to see if they persist with him. I saw something, I don't know if it's true or not, because when you see stuff on social media, it's not always true. You do have to do your own research. But I did see something. India have not won a test match in Sydney against Australia since the 70s. It's either been Australia winning or a draw. So it will take a monumental effort for India to turn this series around. That's for sure. And there's always rain in the Sydney test. So I'd say the odds of a draw are pretty likely. I don't own the rights, Ashton. I don't really understand why people keep asking that question for all sports. As Renshaw gets the top edge, and it's over the top of the man, down at third man, and 6 runs. 6 much-needed runs for the Brisbane Heat. "67 metres over the head of Steckity. It's almost... Yeah, it's on Channel 7. They own the rights to it. I don't understand why people don't realise that copyright exists. Renshaw gets the edge. Beautifully bowled by Paris. And the Stars, bravery, keeping that slip in place. And they've come up with another wicket. Renshaw's gone for 9. And the Heat are in absolute dire straits right now. 3 for 33. Melbourne Stars, they were due, weren't they? They were overdue. And they've started extremely well here. Renshaw is gone. It's another leg of the multi that's been let down. We may as well go ahead and close that now. Will Main says we can give them a 6 for a wicket. Oh, 100%. Yeah. And it was a lucky 6 at that. It was only just over the head of Steckity. Any bowler anywhere in the world will happily give away a flaky 6 if it means they take a wicket the next ball. The real thing. Happy New Year, mate. I hope that the few hours of 2025 so far have been fruitful and rewarding. Stoinis into the bowling attack. And Max Bryant comes out. Three for 33, 6.39 runs and over. Oh, God. Poor Marcus Stoinis. Marcus Stoinis' captaincy record, 1-0. Lost 5. Or lost 6, I think it said. McSweeney punches away for 1. They come through for the quick single. 3 for 34. Koza asks who my NRL team is. The Sharks. The Cronulla Sharks are my main team. I've also got a soft spot for the Tigers and the Bulldogs. But I do believe the Melbourne Storm will win the premiership this year. Koza, you go for the Doggies? Nice. Yeah, I've got a soft spot for the Dogs. I had been predicting the Dogs to return to finals football for about the last 3 seasons. They finally got there. They finally got back. Stoinis, another dot ball. This is good bowling. Hard to get runs away here. Whoops. Will Main, you go for the Dolphins. Very nice. Are you concerned for 2025, Will? Davo, 80 Davo, go Strikers. Bryant turns it away for 1. Alex McF, 28, goes for the Storm. Very nice. Well, congratulations, Alex, because I think the Storm win the 2025 Premiership. Storm Panthers grand final again. Jay Lyons says, first game I've sat down to watch this season, and this is the garbage I cop. Brisbane Heat supporter, I take it, Jay. I know the pain. I know the pain all too well. I mean, check this out. Check this out, right? So, the reason that I tipped the Melbourne Stars tonight, even though I'm a Brisbane Heat supporter, I was going through my Facebook memories, and it seems like the Brisbane Heat... Oh, you don't follow anyone? It's just decided to watch a game. The reason I've gone for the Stars, although I'm a Heat supporter, 6 years ago on this day, in my Facebook memories. Time to find a new team. I can only imagine what I was talking about. 5 years ago on this day. New year, same shitty team. Hashtag Brisbane Heat. I'm noticing a trend here over the years. So maybe the Brisbane Heat players party too hard on New Year's Eve and they just don't come out firing on New Year's Day. Could be. Paris to bowl himself out here. 1 for 17 off his 3 so far. AFL footy cards. 1, 2, 3. Steezy asks if I'm streaming on any other apps. West World of Sports is live on YouTube, live on TikTok. We'll be live on Facebook in 2025 and live on Twitch. West World of Sports on all of those platforms is what it's called. Will, I'm a Scorchers fan, so it's better for them if the Stars win this game. Absolutely, it is. It's better for everybody in the top 4 at the moment if the Stars win this game. Three for 38, and it could all come down to Spencer Johnson with the ball. They've started very, very poorly, obviously, with the bat. And the thing is, too, like, you expect your home ground to become a little bit of a fortress, but traditionally, the Heat really suck at the Gabba. I don't understand why. The Gabba has long been far from a fortress for this team. Paris in again, a straight delivery this time. Seems to have lost his swing at the moment, Paris. 2 deliveries left. And that will be the end of Paris' spell, at least. .4 gone. 3 for 38. McSweeney punches it away through the offside. Just the single. McSweeney and Bryant in a power surge. I mean, they could still get a score here. Good. I mean, we saw it from the strikers the other night, didn't we? I don't think the Brisbane Heat will be capable of doing that, though, to be perfectly honest. And a dot ball to finish for Paris. 4 overs, 1 for 20. He has bowled very, very well. And the Heat 3 for 39 after 7 overs. Dennis says, go the Stars. Jamie Worth just says, lovely. And things are looking very, very lovely indeed for the Melbourne Stars. Well and truly on top in this one at the Gabba. The Brisbane Heat keeping up traditions of being terrible on New Year's Day. Oh, God, that 5th and final test in the Border Gavaskar Trophy is a pink ball test. Ah, I see. Well, that guarantees Australian victory. Bowled him, absolutely cleaned him up. Peter Siddle with his first ball. Peter Siddle, the veteran, has absolutely cut McSweeney in half. And he's clean McBowled him. 4 for 39. Peter Siddle takes the top of off stump. He just doesn't stop, Peter Siddle. I feel like he's been playing for about 30 years. Fake Slim Shady says, New Year, same Heat. Last year was a blip on the radar. BBL 13, an absolute blip on the radar. I don't know what happened there. We were suddenly good. What's that movie? Is it The Waterboy? I think it's The Waterboy, right? That scene. Oh no, we suck again. That's what it's like right now as a Brisbane Heat supporter. Peter Siddle plays for a new team every year. I reckon we could actually do a video on every team Peter Siddle has played for. I don't think he's ever played for the Brisbane Heat, but yeah, seriously, Peter Siddle did used to play for the Renegades. He used to play for the Adelaide Strikers. He's played for so many of the teams. Let's actually look it up, just for a laugh. Peter Siddle BBL history is maybe what I would search for here. What BBL teams has Peter Siddle played for? Maybe I've exaggerated how many teams he's played for. The Melbourne Stars are pleased to announce that Victorian and former Australian quick Peter Siddle has signed a 1-year deal with the club. Blah, 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 blah. Due to being one of the original signings of the club, Siddle never played a BBL game for the Stars due to international commitments and has gone on to play 83 BBL games with the Strikers and the Renegades over the last 9 seasons. Okay, so he started with the Melbourne Stars. Didn't get to play a game, though, because he was playing for Australia at the time. So he started with the Stars, went to the Strikers, went to the Renegades, and now he's come back to the Stars. Crazy. And he's, yes, Cameron, absolutely. Peter Siddle still kicking on. 4 for 40 here, the Brisbane Heat. Max Bryant, 1 run off 5 balls. Big Paul Walter, 1 off 3. 7.4 overs gone. Peter Siddle, a wicket off his first ball. Bryant cuts it away for no run. Picks out the man. Michelle, ahoy there. How's the hangover? About as good as expected, yes. I'll tell you what, though, it was a good night. It was a fantastic... If you ever want to feel young, if you're starting to get a little bit up there in age and you want to have a night out and feel young again, go to, like, your local RSL/Leagues Club. Highly advised. You will feel like the youngest person in the room. Locksmith, ahoy there. Blake, ahoy, how are you, mate? Happy New Year. Locksmith is drinking some beer. Very nice. Cheers. 4 for 41 here, the Heat after 8 overs. Stoinis back into the attack. None for 2 off his first over. Runs apparently very hard to come by, but here's what's going to happen. Here's what's going to happen. The Brisbane Heat have made batting look very, very difficult out there. The Melbourne Stars will come out and smash the absolute bollocks off the thing, and they'll have the runs chased down in about 6 overs. That's what will happen. Oh, that was pretty crazy, actually. So, yeah, so we're out at... we're down at one of the locals for New Year's celebrations. And we got there probably only about 10 minutes or 15 minutes before midnight. And it was separated into, like, essentially 3 different rooms. There was the little sports bar area, there was the big restaurant area, and then there was the gaming area. We entered through the sports bar area and then went over into the main area where there was a band performing and everything. And both rooms were completely out of sync with the New Year's countdown. It was fascinating. So it was the New Year. It became 2025 earlier in the other room for some reason. So I don't really know who was correct. Swing and a miss by Big Paul Walter. And that is air swing number 142, I think, from this innings. Blake, just search Intoxigamer, mate. Intoxigamer. I'm fairly sure that despite the fact we haven't done anything there for over a year, probably still the top result. Stoinis appeals for LBW. Umpire not interested. High. Well, it's hit above the pads, and Paul Walter's already like 8 feet tall, so that was definitely going over. Four for 42. Stoinis bowling well. Walter drives it down the field. There's no one down there at long on, so they come back for a second. What was I eating for lunch today? Well, I think the advertising worked because I ended up ordering KFC. Got myself a cheesy zinger box. And it was good. It was okay. So the advertising works. Seeing KFC on the field, all bloody BBL 14. Paul Walter hooks this away for a single to finish the over. 4 for 46 here, the Brisbane Heat. This has been abysmal. And I'll tell you what, they've not been the only team that's been abysmal so far today. The Sydney Sixers, with their worst performance of the season so far, and their first defeat. Peter Siddle, 1 for 2 off his opening over. He's been on fire. Drops this one in short over the head of Walter. So that is surely going to be called a wide. No, it's not. It's a dot ball. Well, Paul Walter, 8 or 9 feet tall, and it's bounced over his head and somehow not called a wide. Ollie is the best, says my dad Andy, says Happy New Year. Ahoy and Happy New Year, Andy. Siddle, wide outside off stump. Walter cuts it away. Can't find the gap, though. And just the one run. Liam says we will still lose this somehow. Love the confidence there, Liam. Still on the Captain Morgan's. Locksmith, full ball. Bryant. Can't get that one away. Struggling to get to the pace and pitch of the ball. The Brisbane Heat batsman. And that was pretty well summed up with the wicket of Colin Munro. Threw his shot way too early as he tried to turn it off the pads to the leg side. Bryant just pushes it down into the pitch. And it bounces through to the keeper. No run. All right, I'll see if I can sort it out, Blake. Let's see. I'll bring a screen up over here. Siddle, again, perfectly placed delivery. And Max Bryant, all he can do is fend it down. No run. Peter Siddle winding back the clock. Siddle in again. Bryant turns it off the hip for one. Beautifully bowled once again, Peter Siddle. 2 overs, 1 for 4. That is just amazing. Now that is the standard that Spencer Johnson has to match. Spencer is capable of matching that, but he'll be feeling the pressure because he'll realize he's got a job to do. Xavier Bartlett as well. A job to do. Putting a lot of pressure on the bowlers here. 4 for 47 after 10. Run rate 4.7. Just nowhere near good enough. Koza, welcome back. Of course, I remember you. You were here not 5 minutes ago. Yes, indeed. Happy New Year, everybody. 2025 officially here. Decade footy, ahoy mate. Welcome along. What's good? Certainly not the Brisbane Heat batsman. That's for sure. The Stars bowling well. Oh, we've got to change channels. Channel 7 doing us dirty again. Having to change channels halfway through the bloody coverage. All right. Max Bryant and Paul Walter. 10 overs gone, 4 for 47. Bryant is 4 from 12. Walter's 5 from 10. And here comes Usama. I had him in my multi for any time wicket taker. Not that my multi's worth anything at the moment. Thanks to Colin Munro and Nathan McSweeney. Two players who let me down. Stars spinners have been the most expensive this season. Well, I've got a feeling tonight they might just pull that back a little bit. Usama Mir, a dot ball to start. Seen spin for the first time tonight. Just drifting onto the pads there. A straighter delivery. And Bryant pushes for 2 runs. And that's well run. Good intent there from Max Bryant. Not getting a lot of turn early here, Usama Mir. They come through for a single. Will Main says, the way this is going, we can win. We can win. I would say, I completely understand the lack of authoritative confidence from the Melbourne Stars fans. But I would say, the way this is going, they will win. Paul Walter drops that big knee down and goes for the sweep. Misses it completely. Air swing number 649 tonight from the Brisbane Heat batsman. Hunter Gray, I go for the Brisbane Heat. It was a good BBL 13, but yeah, back to normal for BBL 14, it would seem. Four for 51, a run rate of 4.71. Slow going here at the Gabba. Melbourne Stars, though, won the bat flip, elected to field first. And it seems they're happy at the moment to just punch ones. Bryant, 8 from 16. Walter, 6 from 12. And you would surely think this is the last of the natural batsmen for the Brisbane Heat. So surely they pull the trigger on the power surge. Oh, no, Hunter. And also, the Sydney Sixers did not have a very good day either, did they? The Sydney Sixers, their first defeat of BBL 14 to the Hobart Hurricanes. But what that says to me is just how competitive BBL 14 is going to be, which is rather exciting. Marcus Stoinis, none for 6 off 2 overs so far. Back into the attack. Bryant on strike. Still no word on the power surge. Fake Slim Shady says Thunder win it at all, though. I'll tell you what, I would have called the surge. I would have called the surge right now. This over. Because they need to change this momentum. These are the last two batsmen. The Brisbane Heat innings hinges on these two now. Because another wicket. And they're well and truly starting to expose the tail. Stoinis, a single and a dot ball to start this over. Walter charges down the pitch. Thumps this past the man at mid-off for 4. Now, that was some good intent from Big Paul Walter. The big man charging down the pitch at Stoinis. Four for 57. Stoinis, a slower ball on the pads. Walter lifts it up and over the rope, but deep square leg. Well, Paul Walter has decided it's time to go. "78 meters square of the wicket." Can the Brisbane Heat start to turn things around here on the back of Big Paul Walter? Stoinis adjusts this time and straight down the ground. Walter hits the fence for 4. 14 runs off these last 3 balls. Stoinis is getting tonked. What a hit. Stoinis now feeling the pressure. In for his last ball. Drops it in short. Walter swings and misses. And they race through for a single to the keeper. Surely they take the power surge now. Paul Walter is seeing them well. Or do they just keep going? I mean, Walter seems quite fine with finding the boundary even without the surge. I would call it with these two out there, though. That's for sure. Blake, I don't know why when you put the link for the Discord on YouTube, it doesn't work on other apps. That does. Yeah, absolutely no idea, Blake, I'm afraid. Osama Mir back into the attack. Walter down on one knee. Slogs the ever-living bollocks out of it, but he can't beat Glenn Maxwell on the boundary. And Osama Mir gets the wicket. And Paul Walter, right when he was starting to look very threatening, and Glenn Maxwell, just a little leap, takes the catch. Oh, that's a big breakthrough. Big breakthrough. Five for 68 now. Well taken by Maxwell on the boundary. Walter just didn't quite get hold of that one. He had been striking them nicely. Should have called the power surge. If they called the surge, there wouldn't have been a man out there. But of course, Osama Mir would probably... I mean, even if Osama Mir was bowling the opening over of the surge, I would venture to say that that is not the type of delivery that he would have dished up either. So, Will Prestwidge. I'll try that again. Will Prestwidge out to bat, and yeah, they've left the surge too late here. The Heat. Osama Mir, big appeal for LBW. That was going down the leg side, though, I suspect. He was very interested, though, but they always are, the bowlers, aren't they? Will Main says if we could get them all out quick, that would be good. That would certainly be very good for the Melbourne Stars. Mia tosses it up outside off stump. Prestwich cuts it away for one. Five for 69. Nicole Payne, ahoy there. You know who Locks 17 is? I don't know what any of that's about. I think they've left the surge a little too late. But I would have called the surge with Walter and Maxi Bryant out there for sure. Max Bryant's still there. I don't know about Prestwich. 5 for 70. Are they going to get to 100, the Heat? Oh, Prestwich down on the knees, sweeps it. Doesn't get hold of the ball. And it's a dot to finish. 2 runs and a wicket. Usama Mir finishes his second, 1 for 7. NDE says we need to get rid of Colin Munro. He certainly hasn't fired at all, has he? Number 1 empowerment community. Bartlett going to need 5. Bartlett needs a 5-fer, and Spencer Johnson needs a 5-fer. Oh, good Lord. How many air swings have there been tonight? Not just Colin Munro. Not just Colin Munro, but the Brisbane Heat batsmen in general. I have never seen so many air swings. Steckety back into the attack. Bryant glides it down to third man for 1. Jack, ahoy there. Welcome along. Five for 71. Max Bryant playing a very controlled innings at the moment. I can't believe there's still no call of the power surge. I mean, maybe since Paul Walter got out, I don't understand why they didn't call it immediately with Max Bryant and Paul Walter, especially after he had just had such a big over against Stoinis. You call it straight away, surely. But I don't know. That's just me. I feel like so many teams, not just the Brisbane Heat, but so many teams have just left things a little too late for the power surges. Jack, we do have a Discord. I am struggling to find the link at the moment. Invite people. Ah, here we go. Invite. Send a server invite link. There we go. Maxi Bryant has decided it's time to go. Pulls this one away for 6. Steckety again, drops it in. Bryant lifts it off the hip for 6. Back-to-back sixes. That's what they needed. And still no surge. Five for 84. Maxi Bryant holds the keys here. Steckity, slower ball this time outside off stump. Straight to the man at backward point for no run. 5 for 84, 14 overs gone. That run rate has just lifted up to 6. Oh, yeah, it's just the dogs are fighting over food. Gotcha! Gotcha! Yeah, this one was protecting her food bowl from the other one, which is why it was so aggressive. You won't let anyone near your food, huh? It's not allowed. Power surge is called. It has been activated, and for some unknown reason, it's been activated on and over. The Prestwich is starting on strike. I don't get that, but at least it's been called. Marcus Stoinis to bowl. Surely you activate the surge when Maxi Bryant is on strike. It's essentially a waste of a ball for Prestwich to get Bryant back on strike. And especially when he picks out the man. He has hit it. He's got gaps everywhere to punch a single. And Prestwich... Someone please explain this to me. Activate the power surge when Max Bryant is down the non-striker's end. And now Prestwich, with his first ball, punches it straight to the man at cover for no run. Stoinis in again. They've wasted one delivery. Prestwich cuts it away. Just the single. So they've wasted 2 balls of the power surge. And Max Bryant on strike. This is what they needed from the power surge. Maxi Bryant on strike. 2 overs, Will Main. Stoinis obviously bowling the first one. And then somebody else to bowl another. And then the fielding restrictions lift again. Stoinis to Bryant. Bryant goes the ramp. Doesn't get hold of it at all. They'll push for 2. They should get 2. Hard running. And that throw back into the keeper just bounces a little high. And they've come back for the 2 runs. Hard running from Max Bryant. Happy New Year. Ishant rocks. 2025 starting poorly for the Brisbane Heat so far. Bryant hooks this one away. Hilton Cartwright's out there, and it's just the one. Did I see near the start how slow Colin Munro ran? Honestly, all I noticed about Colin Munro is the constant air swings. Ice Spice Elite 69 says, go Stars. 2 balls left here. Stoinis. Wide outside off stump. Prestwich chops it down to mid-off for 1 run. 5 off this over so far. It's a good one for the Stars. Ishant Rocks says, what should be the minimum score? Oh, from here, well, they've kind of cooked themselves, the Heat. A little bit. Stoinis. Full ball on the pads. Bryant just turns it away for one. He will retain the strike for the next over. Who is going to bowl it? 5 for 90, 15 overs gone. All right, so 5 overs left. You would expect at least 6 and over from here. So another 30 runs gets them to 120. They obviously need to go better than that. They probably want to get around 8 to 10 and over. If they could somehow eke out 10 and over from here, another 50 runs gets them up to 140, which is at least something to bowl at. They obviously need a lot more than that. Yes, more like in the region of 12 and over, but I think 10 and over is probably more realistic if they can even manage that. They need to lift themselves up to at least 140, I reckon, just so they've got something to bowl at. Peter Siddle it is to bowl the second of the surge overs, and Max Bryant got himself all tangled up there. He thought about going the ramp. Peter Siddle followed him across to way outside the off stump. Decided that he would have a late cut at it instead. Ends up just standing there looking foolish with another air swing for a Brisbane Heat batsman. Air swing number 700 this innings. That's more like it. A traditional shot. Maxi Bryant. Siddle puts it full. A half volley on off stump. And Max Bryant straight through the swinging arc. Sends it long, long over the rope for 6 down the ground. That's more like it. 95 metres. And look at the difference. A traditional cricket shot versus attempted stupid ramps and whatnot. Siddle now has to adjust. Drops it in shorter. Bryant swings at it hard down the ground, and it's been dropped at mid-on. It was a tough chance for Steckety. It was a hard hit. Bryant has slogged it straight back down the ground. Steckety diving to his left, can't reel it in. Dropped and away for 4 as well. Did it go for 4? I think it did go for 4. A drop and 4. Bryant. Oh, God! That looked like it hurt. Maxi Bryant's pushed this away to Hilton Cartwright at point, who has done the splits as he slips over on the circle. Ethan Giles, ahoy, mate. What's happened to the Heat? They've been smashed back down to reality after a solid BBL 13, as this should be called a wide. High over the head. No signal from the umpire. Well, that's shocking. That was a wide every day of the week and twice on Sundays. No call. NRL Super King, ahoy. Welcome back, mate. Happy New Year. Peter Siddle, the last ball of the power surge. It's a slow ball. Half volley on leg stump, and Max Bryant lifts it over cow corner for 6. The 100 is up. 5 for 106 here, the Brisbane Heat. Rock my balls. Ahoy, mate. Happy New Year. Will Main, watching on Channel 7. Cricket Australia has made a very smart decision, making the BBL 14 very accessible on free-to-air television. I'm from Brisbane, NDE. Well, I mean, not originally, but that's where I live now. I was born in Newcastle, New South Wales. Lawrence, Half volley on his first delivery, and Prestwich sends it over the rope, and Glenn Maxwell, with the most amazing fielding you will ever see, has leapt over the rope, underarmed the ball back into the field of play, and the catch has been taken. What have I just witnessed? A half volley on leg stump. Prestwich gave it the full treatment, and Maxwell has leapt about 10 feet in the air and underarmed this back into the field of play. This is incredible. That is the most unbelievable thing that I've ever seen. Well, he's thrown it back to himself as well, just to add insult to injury, and he's done it so casually. He's just so casual about it. Leaping up, catching it with one hand, underarming it back up into the air, into the field of play, maintaining his feet when he lands, and racing back across the rope to collect the ball. Unbelievable. The most incredible thing I've ever seen. And if there was any threat of the Brisbane Heat taking momentum back in this game, Glenn Maxwell has just literally plucked it out of the air. Unbelievable catch. That is easily the catch of the season. It's definitely the catch of the year. I mean, it's 100% the catch of the year. Catch of the season, though, absolutely. Catch of the last decade, perhaps. It's official. He's been given out. Well, I don't know why we needed to fluff around with that so long. Xavier Bartlett, I think, was already out at the crease. Prestwich had left the field. Best to make certain of these things, I suppose. Lawrence now a wicket off his first ball. Bartlett turns it off the pads for one. And Max Bryant will be back on strike. Bryant holds the key now for the Brisbane Heat. Unbelievable catch. We get to see it so many times now on replay. That's one for the highlight reel. Lawrence to Bryant. Bryant just turns it away for one. Thinks about pushing for the two, but it was never on. Six for 108. So, where do the Brisbane Heat go from here? I still feel like they've got to lift to at least 130, 140. It's something to bowl at. Bartlett pushes it back down the ground for one. Six for 109. So there's only 3 overs left after this one. 6 and over gives them 18. They've got to go at least that. They obviously want more. 10 to 12 and over. $10 and over, an absolute minimum for these final 3. 12 to 14 and over would be ideal. Oh, excuse me. 12 to 14 and over would be ideal. Lawrence with his final delivery. Turned away off the hips. They'll get 2 here. Back for 2 runs. 6 for 112. 17 overs gone. Brisbane Heat in a world of hurt here. The Melbourne Stars looking for their first victory of BBL 14. Starting the new year right. The Melbourne Stars. Ethan Giles, how was your day going? Going very well, thank you, Ethan. I mean, I slept for most of it. Go the Strikers, says Davo. Go the Scorchers. Oh, God, I can't even see it. That username is an emoji. Is that a spider? Spider says go Scorchers. 6 for 112, Maxi Bryant, 45 of 33. Has just worked his way into his innings, but he's got to go now. He's got to go for it. Steckety, wide outside off stump. Bryant just chops it away for one. Not really ideal. Oh, he didn't take the run. Well, that's smart. That's actually smart. Because I was about to say, a single does nothing, really, for the Heat at this point. Max Bryant needs maximum opportunities for hitting boundaries. Steckety to Bryant. Half volley. Bryant gives it the treatment. Has he got enough on it? Yes, he does. It's about 10 rows back. And that's really poor bowling from Steckety. I mean, that's a shocking delivery. A half volley. And Max Bryant brings up his 50 in fine style. Straight down the field. Over the long on fence for 6. That's really poor bowling from Steckety. A half volley right in the zone. A gift for any batsman. Wide outside off stump, and it's a wide. Well, Steckety, what is going on here? This is such poor bowling, and now they're going to have a look and see if this even landed on the pitch. Because if this has not landed on the pitch, it's going to be a free hit. This is dreadful bowling from Steckety. 6 for 119. And he's got to bowl that one again. Bangs it in short this time. And is it going to be called a wide for a height? It is! Back-to-back wides here for Steckety. Amber hurting the bed big time here. Steckety. And the Brisbane Heat suddenly look up at that scorecard and see 6 for 120. We talked about 140 being a minimum. And that's a full toss wide outside off stump. And that one's not called. He gets away with that. Oh, he's got away with that one, Steckety. But that is another poor delivery. I don't understand how that one wasn't called. A hat-trick of wides it almost was. 3 balls left here, Steckety. Right in the slot again, but Max Bryant comes up with nothing but air this time. He's got away with that one. Six for 120. 17.4 overs gone. Max Bryant is the key to any kind of score here for the Heat. With 2 overs to go, they should at least drag themselves to that 140. They'll have something to bowl out here. That's wide again! Steckety with another one! Oh, this is abysmal. This is the worst bowling I've seen in a long time. Steckety, 3 wides in the over. And he just can't get himself on target at the moment. XJC, ahoy mate. 2 balls left, slower ball. Outside off again. It's pulled away from Bryant into the gap. They'll get 2. And Bryant will have strike for the last ball. What a throw from the outfield. They're coming back for a third, an overthrow. Things are just falling away from the Stars here. Glenn Maxwell can do no wrong at the moment. Hits the stumps from the outfield. It did cost them another run. But Maxie Bryant will have the strike for the next over. Steckity. Wide outside of stump. Bartlett could have let that go. Xavier Bartlett could have let that go through for another wide. And they've taken a single for some reason. I don't understand why they've taken a single. That is going to need some serious explaining to me. They took a single to keep Xavier Bartlett on strike for the next over. That makes no sense to me at all, I'm afraid. Have I not updated the title on YouTube? That sounds like something I would do. Thank you, XJC, for letting me know that. That is a very, very me thing to do. Max Bryant down on one knee. Another air swing. Oh, there's going to be a little bit of a break here. It's hit the keeper in the head. And he'll have to go through concussion protocols. Gives me a chance to have a quick break. I'll be right back here on the Waste to World of Sports. Good Lord. 6 for 126, 18.2 overs gone. Down the pitch goes Maxie Bryant. Straight drive, one bounce over the rope. They're coming for a score here, the Heat. Something to bowl at least. Couple of early wickets. It could still be game on. Three balls left here. Now Bryant steps over to the offside, lifts it over the top of leg side for four. Down to the fine leg boundary. Well, Max Bryant has been long overdue for an innings like this one. Took his time to get his eye in. Six for 134. Slower delivery. Turned away for one. Bryant should have strike for the final over. 6 for 135. Xavier Bartlett's got a free hit here. If he gets himself out, it doesn't matter. This is a free hit. He's got to go for it here. Big Xavier Bartlett. Down the pitch he goes. Bangs it away to long on, sorry. Just the one run if they had taken it. But common sense prevails. And they'll keep Max Bryant on strike for the final over. Peter Siddle's been the pick of the bowlers, really, for the Stars. Is Peter Siddle going to bowl the final over? It would make sense. Absolutely. Will Main. Melbourne Stars, we need to win this. The finals are still an option for the Stars if they win this one. Siddle starts with a half volley. Pulled away to Glenn Maxwell. They'll come back for two. They have to. They need at least 10 runs off this over. Oh. I did not realise this bottle was corked. It's nice. A Fomaso 23. Who do I support? I go for the Brisbane Heat, but I'll tell you, I have tipped the Melbourne Stars to win this one. Wide outside off stump. Bryant goes down the ground. They'll come back for two again. The throw's not a good one. It's over the head of the keeper. Two more runs here. Well, they're pushing hard here. Oh, and has Maxwell hurt himself? Has Glenn Maxwell just hurt himself? His ankle there just catches a little bit in the turf. Well, that could be a massive story from the game. If Glenn Maxwell's picked up a little niggle in the field, that could seriously hinder his batting. 4 deliveries left. Bryant goes the ramp over the top of the slips for 4. This is incredible. Surely the Melbourne Stars cannot possibly throw this away. This is incredible. 6 for 143. At one point, looked like they would struggle to get 100. Three balls left. Siddle. A half volley right in the arc, and Max Bryant gives it an absolute serving. 6 for 149. Bryant goes to 77 or 46 deliveries. Poor bowling from the Stars. Poor bowling from Peter Siddle there. And it's gone 86 metres. I mean, that is just giving the batsman exactly what he wants. Siddle, full of ball, outside off. And it's cut away, picks out the man at deep point. And they don't take the single. Max Bryant wants the strike for the final ball. The fact that they have lifted themselves up here to 149, the Stars at the moment having to chase 150, it is a defendable total. A couple of early wickets, and the Stars will really start to get inside their own heads. Boy, they've let this innings get away a little bit. Wide outside off stump and a run out to finish. 7 for 149, the Brisbane Heat finish. Peter Siddle recovers that over nicely. 6 for 149, and it is something to bowl at. Out of nowhere, something to bowl at least. It's not a big score. It's certainly not what they would have been aiming for at the start of the night, but after the start that they got off to, 7 for 149, they will take. A couple of early wickets for Spencer Johnson and Xavier Bartlett, and it is game on. Incredible. All right, West to World of Sports. Thanks for being with us so far. The run chase to commence after the break. Melbourne Stars, can they break their losing streak? Or have the Brisbane Heat potentially pulled out an absolute miracle here? Be back soon for the run chase. Wasted World of Sports, welcome back. 7 for 149, the Brisbane Heat have ended up setting a score, something to at least be potentially defendable, something to bowl at. And with the likes of Xavier, Bartlett, and Spencer Johnson, who knows, a couple of quick wickets, and they being the Brisbane Heat, will suddenly be very, very interested in this one. Surely the Melbourne Stars cannot let this slide after the start that they got off to. Honestly, if they let it slip from here, they kind of deserve to lose. I'll be honest. That said, look, the Brisbane Heat have gone out there, struggled for runs early, struggled to get to the pace and the pitch of the ball. So the Stars will have seen this, and they'll be able to adapt, you would think, and set up their run chase. But we have seen, though, teams at the moment in the past few games really struggling with run chases. I mean, we even saw it earlier today with the Sydney Sixers against the Hurricanes, struggling with a run chase that should have been, well, not should have been comfortable, but they certainly should have been able to do it. But we'll see. Early wickets will be crucial. Ben Duckett will be crucial. Spencer Johnson, perhaps the key for the Brisbane Heat here in defending the total. 7 for 149. But of course, all the talk will be about that catch. Glenn Maxwell in the outfield. Usama Mir. Oh, no, it wasn't Usama Mir. It was the other spinner whose name escapes me. Floated it up, half volley on the legs, right in the slot. And Will Prestwich gave it enough to get it over the rope, but still, the rope even wasn't far enough to prevent Glenn Maxwell from leaping up, underarming the ball back into the field of play to take the catch. Mitchell Vella Sports, congratulations, mate. The newest channel member, thanks to a gift from Bo Unit. In case you're wondering who you need to thank for that, Bo Unit became a channel member last night, and he also gifted a channel membership, and you were the lucky recipient of that gift. What do I think about the game so far tonight? Obviously, the Melbourne Stars were right on top early. They let it slip a little bit. Max Bryant, though, don't take anything away from Max Bryant. Sometimes when I say, like, the Melbourne Stars have let it slip, I mean, it probably doesn't give enough credit to what Max Bryant did with the bat, single-handedly turning this around for the Brisbane Heat. It was some really poor bowling at times, though, from the Stars. Half volleys right in the slot. Max Bryant said, "Thank you very much," and absolutely tonked them. But he performed well, Max Bryant, but they certainly didn't bowl well to him for large parts of it. It is something to bowl at least. It's not the greatest score, 7 for 149, but it's something to bowl at. And I always say, every single stream, I always say, you at least get yourself to 140. You've got something to bowl at. Maybe not necessarily the greatest score, But you just never know, right? If you've got something on the board to defend that's 140 plus and you get a couple of early wickets, the pressure starts to go back onto the batting team, and you just never know. The Brisbane Heat have got a bowling attack that's capable with Spencer Johnson, Xavier, Bartlett, Swepson, Kuhneman. If Kuhneman's playing tonight, actually, I haven't checked that out. Prestwidge, Paul Walter, like the bowling attack is capable of defending a score if they get wickets. Wickets will be the key. Duckett has been on absolute fire. So he could be the batsman that if they tear through Duckett early, going to make for very interesting viewing from there on in. Oh, sweet. All right. Innings break is wrapping up and we're ready to get going after the break. The Melbourne Stars chasing 150 to win. We'll be right back on the Waste to World of Sports. Waste to World of Sports, let's go. Run chase about to commence. The Melbourne Stars searching for their first win. The Brisbane Heat looking to pull this one out of the bag, I suppose you would say. What a turnaround of fortunes it would be. Oh, that's hilarious. One of the police officers has lost a taser in a car chase, or in a not a car chase, but in a chase. Lost the taser, so now they don't know where it is. That's hilarious. Somebody's running around out there with a police taser. Ben Duckett holding the key here for the Stars chase. But of course, they've got Stoinis, they've got Maxwell. The way that Glenn Maxwell's going so far tonight, this one is potentially set up for him after that ripper of a catch over the boundary. Do we see a situation where Glenn Maxwell comes through with the bat as well? Tell you what, as excited as I am for the continuation of this match, I also cannot wait for sleep. Yes, we had an unexpectedly big night last night, all things considering. And yeah, very much looking forward to sleeping again. Oh, that's what I wanted to look at. Okay, I'm trying to find these settings on my TV. My TV seems to have a really odd lack of settings for like brightness and stuff. Okay, the picture. I seem to be locked into a picture preset. Gonna have to. Ah, here we go. Environment. Select your viewing environment. No. Netflix settings. Usually on a television, you've got options for like brightness and contrast, and I seem to just be locked into this picture preset. I'll have to try and figure that out. Because at the moment, basically, long story short, this is of very little interest to anybody, I'm sure. But what happens on the YouTube feed, TikTok's fine because TikTok's got all its own filters and whatnot, all its own green screen settings. But what happens on YouTube is every so often, the screen, if there's an advert on that's got a lot of white in it or a lot of red, like a strong, bright red, it affects the lighting on the green screen, makes it too bright in the room, messes up the green screen setting. So there's normally an option on a TV to reduce the brightness and contrast so that glare subsides a little bit, or that brightness subsides a little bit. Because at the moment, occasionally, depending on what's on the screen, it screws up the green screen in the background. But anyway, I mean, that's of no importance to anybody but me. So, just killing time while we get ready for the run chase. And here they come, the Melbourne Stars. The opening batsmen, Duckett and Rogers, to chase down this 150. Look, I think they do it pretty easily. The Brisbane Heat really struggled to get to the pitch of the ball, get their timing right, lots of air swings. The Stars will have seen that, and they should be able to come out and adjust a lot quicker than the Brisbane Heat batsmen did. But Spencer Johnson will have something to say about that. Xavier Bartlett will have something to say about that. Swepson will have something to say about that. Formidable-looking Brisbane Heat bowling lineup. If there's a team capable of defending a low total like 149, probably the Heat. Ben Duckett could be the key, though. A big innings from him. I mean, he could have this pretty well done and dusted if he stays out there for like the opening 10 overs or something. You would expect he would have a big score. Xavier Bartlett to open the bowling. Best figures of 4 for 30. He needs every single one of those tonight. Tom Rogers looks like he's going to take the strike. Max Bryant and the Brisbane Heat, they did well to recover from their situation and get a somewhat defendable score on the board. Five seconds now, and it will be underway. Bartlett to Rogers. Xavier Bartlett with the first delivery, and it's down the leg side. Has it caught the edge? There's a huge appeal, and the umpire shakes his head. A massive appeal. There was a sound there. It didn't look like an edge off the bat. Perhaps it was off the hip. Well, they've gone for the review here. The Brisbane Heat. Well, this could be massive. A huge appeal. What was the sound? There was clearly a sound. My initial reaction was it was off the body. Off the hip. And this is Duckett on strike. And it is off the hip. Plain as day there on that replay. You can understand the excitement and the appeal from the Brisbane Heat. Oh! It's off the glove, and Ben Duckett is gone for a duck. Xavier Bartlett has made the breakthrough. Duckett with his first real failure of BBL 14. It's off the glove. A golden duck for Duckett. Oh, it can't possibly happen, can it? This cannot possibly happen. A wicket off the first ball is the dream start here for the Brisbane Heat. Don't tell me. No, no, no. This can't surely happen. Duckett. Gone on the first ball. Xavier Bartlett. It wasn't even on target. Let's be honest, it was not the greatest delivery in the world. Duckett just hangs the bat out at it. And it clips the glove through to the keeper. Sam Harper now out to the crease. Oh dear, and this is exactly what we were talking about, right? Some early wickets, and suddenly the Stars could get in their own head. Slashed away outside off stump. Spencer Johnson, I believe it is, or Prestwich out there on the boundary. Covers it off, but they come back for two. Harper's off the mark. Well, the end of Duckett, that's a huge wicket. Unbelievable. Poor Will Main in the chat. Wants to get therapy. The crowd's up now. Outside off stump. Harper just hangs the bat out. And it's through for a dot ball. Well, we saw it with the Brisbane Heat innings, didn't we? Runs were not easy to come by. There was lots of swinging and missing. Lots of dot balls. I thought the Stars would adjust. One for two of 0.3 overs. Xavier Bartlett with the wicket. Out wide outside off stump again. And Harper hangs the bat out. And another air swing. Well, we've seen so many air swings tonight. We always talk about never judging a pitch until both teams have played on it. And we were giving the Brisbane Heat a hard time about all those air swings. The Stars have not started well here. Logan, ahoy mate, welcome back. Guess who's back? Back again. Logan's back. Just in time for this run chase. Harper on strike to Bartlett again. That's a fuller delivery. Right on target with the stumps. And the Stars run through for a quick single. 3 runs and a wicket off this over. One for three, sorry. The Melbourne Stars in reply. 147 needed off 115 balls. Xavier Bartlett has got the Brisbane Heat off to the best possible start here. Defending a relatively low total. Rogers to take strike for the first time. Oh, beautiful. In swing and delivery onto the pads. Rogers turns it away square of the wicket for one. Matt, ahoy there. Welcome along. First over down by Xavier Bartlett. And the Melbourne Stars are 1 for 4, chasing 149. Well bowled from Xavier Bartlett there. Spencer Johnson now to chime in from the other end. It doesn't get any easier for the Melbourne Stars batsman. .146 needed off 114 deliveries. And Glenn Maxwell might not necessarily be able to bat as well. He kind of tweaked an ankle or a knee, perhaps, during the fielding. So there's no guarantee that Glenn Maxwell's even going to bat tonight. You would think that he has to. He could have, at least you would think, stand and deliver. Rogers hangs the bat out. It's a big appeal for LBW for Spencer Johnson here. Was there an edge? A little bit of bat on it. And that's the only thing that has saved the batsman here. What a start with the ball for Spencer Johnson. When he's not out trying to win the hearts of Disney princesses, he's bowling absolute bangers like that. On target immediately, the Brisbane Heat bowlers. Harper on strike. Fuller delivery outside of stump. Harper pushes away through the gap. They'll come back for 2. Big Paul Walters after it. And they come back for a 3rd. Well run. One for 8. Yeah, that's a big inside edge onto the pads. Just seen a replay of that first delivery from Spencer Johnson, the LBW appeal. And it would have been a waste of a review had they decided to do it. Johnson again, full delivery. Punched back down the ground to mid-off. No run. Well bowled. Well played. Good cricket all around there. 1 for 8. Just watch that required run rate. They won't want it to drift too far out. 7.68 at the moment for the Stars. For the Heat, they'll be trying to get that up towards 8, 9, 10 throughout the course of these early overs. Just put the pressure back on the batting team. Rogers cuts it away to Swepson at point. No run. Four from the over so far. A 1 and a 3 and then 2 dots. 2 to go for Spencer Johnson. So it's been Colin. Well, excuse me. All the Brisbane Heat batsmen that have let me down so far tonight in my multi. A half volley pulled away for 4 down the ground. Rogers stands and delivers a poor bowling there from Spencer Johnson. You don't get to say that very often, but a poor delivery, and it was given the treatment straight back down the ground. Gina Ferracini, ahoy! Happy New Year. Final delivery here for Spencer Johnson. And Rogers has got an edge on this. There's a big appeal from behind the stumps, and it's given. Rogers going for the ramp shot, and he has got himself out. Well, that is stupidity. The very definition. Look up stupidity in the dictionary, and there will now be a picture of Rogers Ooh, well, there's no certainty around this. Rogers has called the review. Doesn't feel like he's made contact with this. There was a clear sound. If it's not bat, what was the sound? A massive appeal. He's gone for the ramp. Johnson steps all the way over to the offside, goes for the ramp shot. Well, he might have got away with this. That sound might have been the bat on the pitch. It clips the pitch there, right as he goes through the swinging arc. And nothing on the ultra edge. But then we saw India get given out when there was no sound on ultra edge, so that doesn't mean anything. Seems to have beaten the bat, though, and, well, Rogers survives. Rogers survives. And that decision will be overturned. What a let-off here for the Stars. Rogers has got to make full use of that. I can't believe that he attempted a ramp shot in that situation. He had already got more than enough runs off that over. Why risk a wicket? Unbelievable. Ollie is the best, says, who's a cheeky monkey? Philip, Reed, Denver, Jonathan, Jasmine, Sean, Scotty, Rachel, 2, Keelan, Kim, Andy, Mike, Lockie, Cooper, or Monty, as Harper sends this high in the air, racing backwards for it. The Heat can't get to it, and it lands safely just outside the circle. Kanye Ketchup, ahoy, mate. Happy New Year, everyone. We are going to get rich this year. I need XRP to kick on. If XRP kicks on, it is going to be a very, what's the word? Wealthy year. Not the word I was looking for, but let's go with that. Harper cuts it back to the bowler, no run. One for 14 here. So that's a lot of people. It's a full house tonight, is it? Ollie is the best. Okay, so 4. There are 4 cheeky ones there out of that long list of names. As Bartlett in again, bowling well. Gets some nice outswing there, and it beats the edge through to the keeper. Oh, that's a ball and a half right there from Xavier Bartlett. Well, we know that Reed is we know Reed, and we know Reed is definitely 1. So that's 1. Jasmine sounds pretty cheeky. 2 sounds... I think I've told this story before. I think I always tell this story when 2's around. But, yeah, I used to have a mate back in the day. A uni mate. 2, he was cheeky. So let's go with him. So that's 3. I need to pick a 4th. I'm going to put you on the spot here, Andy. I reckon Andy's feeling cheeky tonight. Reed, Jasmine, 2, and Andy. They're the ones having cheeky nights tonight. Well, Maine, it's all good, mate. I reckon the Melbourne Stars are still on top here. Let's see if the bookies agree with me. Bartlett's bowling well, though. 2 more balls left in this over. Cut away. And they've got 2 slips in place here, the Brisbane Heat. That is really unusual to see at T20 level. 2 slips in place. Let's have a look. What's happening here? BBL. Yeah, look, the Melbourne Stars are still favourites to chase this down. $1.68 to the Brisbane Heat's $2.15. That second wicket, though, if Rogers had have fallen, it would have been game on. Bartlett, with his last delivery of the second over, bowls him! Clean bowled, he's cut him in half, and the bails have gone flying. And maybe, just maybe now, it's advantage Brisbane Heat. 2 for 14 after 3 overs. And Xavier Bartlett is 2 for 6 off his 2 overs. And he has just cleaned up Harper here. An in-swinging Yorker straight through the gate. And the bails have gone flying. Is it Xavier Bartlett's night tonight? Harper's gone for 8 of 11. It's 2 for 14. 136 off 102. They need to stop losing wickets. I mean, Captain Obvious, right? They need to stop losing wickets. It is still a relatively easy chase. But the Stars are making extremely difficult work of this. Unbelievable bowling from Xavier Bartlett. The Brisbane Heat are suddenly on the back of Max Bryant and now Xavier Bartlett. They are into this up to their necks. Lawrence out to bat. Dan Lawrence in at number 4, but Spencer Johnson on to bowl now the final over of this power play. Big pressure now on the Stars batsman. Beats the edge, does he? Well, there's a huge appeal, and it's been given out. Spencer Johnson with the breakthrough. The Stars are falling apart before our very eyes. The Melbourne Stars are falling to pieces here. 3 for 14. Johnson. The perfect line and length. A little bit of extra bounce. It catches the edge. And Banton playing wicketkeeper tonight. Banton in the absence of Jimmy Peirson. 3 for 14. This is incredible bowling. And the Melbourne Stars are falling apart right before our very eyes. Maybe, just maybe, they're not meant to win a game this year. Or this season. This is atrocious. They are making an absolute meal out of this. Marcus Stoinis now to the crease. 3 for 14. Spencer Johnson now chimes in with a wicket. Big work to do now for the Heat. I mean, for the Stars. Johnson now to Stoinis. All the momentum is with the home side. Wide down the leg side. That'll be called. And that is a free run. Stoinis needs to stand up, says Will Main. They'll be looking for Stoinis for a big innings, that's for sure. Three for 15. This is incredible. Johnson in again. Corrects it that time. It's perfectly bowled. Stoinis just pushes it down for no run. They've got to see off Spencer Johnson and Xavier Bartlett. The opportunities will be there for the Stars. Prestwich, Walter. That's where the opportunities will be later on in the innings. They've just got to survive this period. Stoinis has a big swing at this outside off stump. And unlucky for the bowler. Doesn't catch the edge. Lucky for Stoinis. An absolute nothing shot. Glenn Maxwell looking on. I can't believe what we are witnessing at the moment. The home crowd have lifted. Johnson again perfectly bowled. Stoinis just fends it down for no run. Three for 15. After 4 overs, the Heat were 2 for 22. So it's been difficult going for both teams batting. But the Heat obviously slightly ahead. An extra wicket. And some less runs on the board for the Stars at the moment. Xavier, Bartlett and Spencer Johnson have just been on point from ball 1. Stoinis punches it away. No run. Just the 1 run and a wicket off this over so far. The Brisbane Heat bowling extremely well. Final ball of the power play. Johnson beautifully bowled again. Stoinis just sees it off. Bends it away to point for no run. 3 for 15. Power play's over. The Brisbane Heat at this stage were 2 for 22. The home side have somehow managed to be on top here. Press switch. Into bowl now. For the Melbourne Stars, they just need to take note of what Max Bryant did in the Brisbane Heat innings. He got himself set. Max Bryant couldn't buy a run at the start of the innings, but he just got his eye in, got to the pace of the pitch, and he went ballistic at the back end. And that's what they need to do here. The Stars just punch ones. Understand that if you get 2 set batsmen at the crease, the opportunities will be there later in the bowling innings. Lawrence and Stoinis here just need to get their eyes in. Chew up 20 or 30 deliveries. Remember, like, Max Bryant took 20 or 30 balls before he really started to get going. And they can still do this here, the Stars. Press switch to Stoinis. Does just that. Pushes it to the offside for 1. I mean, it's not going to make for very exciting viewing. But they've just got to do that. Just take the singles. Get the eye in. The batsmen have obviously struggled tonight to get to the pace of this wicket. Except for Max Bryant. Max Bryant, the only batsman so far that really took the time. Lawrence. Again, pushing to the offside for 1. This is his game, Will Main. This is Stoinis' opportunity to just not do anything stupid. Do exactly what I said. Just maintain his wicket and they can chase this down at the back end using what Max Bryant did as a template. Batting is obviously very difficult at this pitch, and Stoinis has a hard cut at this outside off stump, gets the top edge for 4. Well, I did just say he needs to not do anything stupid. He's got away with that one. If you're going to go at it hard. And it's a top edge racing away to the boundary for 4. 3 for 22. The Heat, very brave, keeping a slip in place. Especially at this point. Now that's off the glove and away. Fine for 4. Back-to-back boundaries. Marcus Stoinis. Well, it's called a leg by. Stoinis is saying it was off his glove. Give me the runs. And I've got to say that seeing it live, I thought it was off the gloves as well immediately. It's been called leg buys, though. Aiden says this is a good time for the Stars to prove themselves. 3 for 26. Not chasing a huge total, though, so there's still an opportunity here. Of course, Stoinis pops a slower ball, fends it away for no run. End of the 5th over, 3 for 26. And that required run rate now, we were talking about the required run rate just drifting out. The Brisbane Heat will be looking to get that to drift out to 7, 8, 9, 10. It's gone out to 8.27 now. Bowling extremely well. Xavier, Bartlett. And Spencer Johnson. Kuhneman now into the attack. Kuhneman could provide an opportunity here for the Stars. Might be one of the bowlers that they decide to target. Swepson, probably not so much, but Kuhneman and Paul Walter, I believe, will be the bowlers that they target. They will just see off Spencer Johnson and Xavier Bartlett, so they've got to do some damage in these mid-overs. Kuhneman and Big Paul Walter, I believe, will be the bowlers that they go after. Kuhneman starts with a dot. .124 needed off 89 deliveries. Reverse sweep, and it beats the man for 4. Lawrence goes the reverse sweep through backward point for 4. He has absolutely ripped that one. And here they come, the Stars. Perhaps Kuhneman is the man that they've picked out here in this bowling lineup. Turned away for 1, thinking about the second. They settle for the single. 5 of this over so far. Stoinis on strike. Can Kuhneman toss up a slower ball outside off stump here? Lure Stoinis into the big hit. Get the top edge straight up in the air. We know that Stoinis loves big hitting. It'll be very hard for him to resist. Kuhneman to Stoinis. Does he tempt him? They don't really have the runs to play with. Stoinis happy to just punch it back down the ground for 1. Maybe 2. They settle for 1. Koza, welcome back. Three for 32. 6 off this over. 2 balls left. Lawrence. A more traditional punch back down the ground this time. The man at long on cuts it off, and it's just a single. I still reckon Stoinis Stoinis here could easily play the Max Bryant role. If he takes the time to get his eye in, he can go big later in the innings. Will he resist the urge? That's wide down the leg side. And it's going all the way to the boundary. Here's a dive in and saving it, but they come back for 2 runs. 2 wides. And Stoinis retains the strike. Kuhneman will have to bowl that one again. 10 off this over. And it's certainly been the best over by far so far for the Melbourne Stars, which is still not really saying a lot. Oh, turns this one back nicely. Kuhneman. Stoinis, it beats him, but hits the body and away for a dot ball to finish. 3 for 36 here after 6. The Stars making this extremely difficult on themselves here. Big Paul Walter into the attack now as the Stars worm just starting to catch up now to the Heat. And now the other of the bowlers that I predict that they target. Let's see what they do. Paul Walter is either going to take a big wicket or the Stars can turn this in their favour. Oh, Cozza, I still think this game is here for the taking for the Stars. 114 needed off 84. These could be the key overs, though. Walter bangs it in short. Lawrence hooks it away. Just the single. Out to deep square leg there. These could be the key overs, really. Walter, Kuhneman, and Prestwich will be the opportunities for runs for the Stars. Xavier, Bartlett, and Spencer Johnson are just bowling way too well at the moment. These are the overs they need to target. Get the runs. And Stoinis goes after it. Bangs it back down the ground over the top of mid-off for 4. And it has indeed been Kuhneman and Paul Walter. The Stars are going after. Oh, I love it when a prediction comes off. And it's forced the fielding change. 3 for 41. Stoinis goes to 10 off 12. 109 needed off 82. Pressure now on the bowling team. Walter hitches it up. Beats the edge. Stoinis just looking to glide that down to third man. Misses. A valuable dot ball there for Big Paul. Tall Paul. .3 overs in. 3 for 41. Walter to Stoinis. Bangs it in short. Stoinis pulls it away for 4. He has absolutely ripped the ever-living bollocks out of that. And Marcus Stoinis, he is loving the looks of Tall Paul here. Sends it to the boundary. Now that is some power. 3 for 45. Here they come, the Stars. Walter, slower ball, up on off stump and punched away through the offside for 4. Sends it straight through the covers like a gunshot. Back-to-back boundaries here for Stoinis. 3 for 49. One ball left here in the 7th over. Walter has been sent for 13. Slower ball fallen on the stumps, but driven straight back down the ground with confidence and power. Another boundary. Stoinis stands and delivers. And Paul Walter, well, we just talked about it, didn't we? We just spoke about it. Kuhnemann and Walter will be the bowlers they target. And poor Paul Walter, he has just been absolutely tonked. Marcus Stoinis has sent him back to club cricket. 3 for 53, 7 overs gone. Starting to look a lot nicer now for the Stars. .97 runs needed. They've got the required target under 100. 78 balls to go. Kuhnemann back into the attack. These are the overs. These overs are key. Kuhnemann and Walter. Prestwich as well. The Stars can chew off a majority of their runs off these three bowlers. Lawrence just turns it away off the pads for one. Gets Stoinis on strike. That's smart. Stoinis is the one doing all the damage. Three for 54. Stoinis bends it away on the leg side for one. Thinking about pushing for two. Stoinis is not interested. Lawrence wanted it. Stoinis was happy with just the one. .75 the required run rate. 7.5 the current run rate. They are well and truly on track now, the Stars. The Heat need wickets. Kuhnemann tosses it up. Lawrence just glides it away out to point for one. And happy to take the singles. Three runs, three singles to start this over. 94 of 75, Kuhnemann to Stoinis. Stoinis bends it back to the bowler and a dot ball. A crucial dot ball here for the Heat. Stoinis resisting the urge to overplay his hand here, batting extremely well. 23 off 18. Happy to just cut this way to the offside for one. Playing very smart, Stoinis, exactly what Max Bryant did. We talked about Stoinis playing the Max Bryant role, and he's doing just that at the moment. A captain's knock in the making, perhaps. A power surge to come. Glenn Maxwell still to come. Lawrence dances down the pitch. Pushes it down to long off for the single. Good over. 5 from it. 92 needed off 72 balls now. 3 for 58 after 8 overs. And the Melbourne Stars, they saw off the threats. Although those threats from the Brisbane Heat did some major damage. 3 wickets taken early, but they're into the cannon fodder now. And surely the Heat do not go back to Paul Walter with Marcus Stoinis out there at the crease. No, they don't. They've turned to Prestwich. That's smart. Stoinis whacked Paul Walter out of the attack. He's still going to have to bowl another over at some point, though. I don't think he'll be bowling it with Stoinis out there. Not the mood that he's in. Lawrence on strike. Prestwich wide outside off stump. Cut away. Just the single. Well, they want 2 here. They've called too early. They get 2. That's well run. 2 a ball will do it well and truly. 3 for 60. Lawrence is 14 off 11. Stoinis 24 off 19. And that's been the key tonight for the batsmen, hasn't it? Just get their eye in. Take those deliveries. Take your medicine early. Cop the dot balls. Get your eye in properly. And then you can start to go as as the deliveries build up. And that's exactly what these two have done. Stoinis and Lawrence have played it smart. Three for 60, 90 runs needed off 70 balls with 7 wickets still left in the dugout. That is a more than achievable total. I would actually say that this, with the bookmakers even, will have swung back in favour of the Stars. And it has indeed. The Brisbane Heat now have blown out to $3 and the Melbourne Stars at $1.38. Short-priced favourites. Couple of wickets, though, and that changes again. That's the beauty of T20 cricket. T20 cricket is a sports trader's dream. The constant ebb and flow of the market. $90 runs needed off 69 balls. Prestwich to Lawrence. It's been a good over, this one from Prestwich. And Lawrence has decided it's time to go. Lifts it up in the air, beats the fielder. Some great saving on the boundary from the Heat fielders. Geez, Lawrence didn't really need to do that. That was a risky shot. Renshaw dives at it. Did he get a hand to it? A short-pitched ball. Lawrence couldn't resist the urge to try and hook that away for 6. Renshaw, it bounces under his hands. And then it's well saved on the rope. Risky shot. Lawrence survives. 3 for 62. Big slash at this, uppishly played, beats the man at point, or backward point, and down to the third man boundary where Max Bryant collects it, and they get a single. Lawrence is just starting to lose his cool a little bit here. Stoinis needs to have words with him and say, mate, just ease up, huh? That's it, just ease up. That is the second shot that you should have been caught. Or not should have been, but that's the second hit up in the air that could have easily been caught. Calm down a little bit, mate. We don't need to throw it away from here. 3 for 63. Prestwich to Stoinis. Stoinis happy to just cut it away for 1. He'll retain the strike. Stoinis. 9 overs gone, and the Stars are 3 for 64. 86 more runs to win. And then I'm going to eat me some KFC after this. I've still got a piece of hot and spicy left. Marcus Rogers says, "Who will win? The Stars win from here, surely. Surely. I mean, they made it a lot more difficult than it needed to be, but surely the Stars win from here. 2 set batsmen, a power surge to come." The key overs will be against Paul Walter and Matt Kuhneman. Swepson now into the attack. Kuhneman, Prestwich, and Walter are the key bowlers to target for the Stars. I think they should just see Swepson off here. Push the singles. Get as close to 6 off the over they can. Well, Stoinis is not interested in that. Stoinis steps back in the crease and pulls it over the mid-wicket for 4. Stoinis is not at all interested in just pushing ones. He is on fire tonight. And again, pulls it away, square of the wicket. And it's another boundary. Well, Stoinis is controlling the show out there tonight. Moves to 33 off 22. The Stars 3 for 72. 78 needed now of 64. That runs required and balls left. Closing right up here. And Marcus Stoinis so far, hands down, his best performance of BBL 14. Swepson tosses this one up a little fuller. And Stoinis is happy to resist the urge for another big hit. And just punches it away to the offside for one. Lawrence is probably the man who's looked most likely to get out. Steps back, cuts it away, beats the man. But Renshaw is in the outfield. They come back for two. Two balls left. Swepson has been taken to task here a little bit. "12 runs off this over so far, and one ball to go. And it is Stoinis on strike. Stoinis on strike. Will Stoinis resist the urge to go big here? Swepson, he does resist the urge. Swepson tosses it up. Gave Stoinis a little look. Would have had him interested for sure. But Stoinis is playing it very, very smart tonight. He's happy to just turn it away for the single. Retain the strike. 14 runs off that over. 3 for 77. Marcus Stoinis is playing really well tonight. Always give credit where credit is due, and all credit to Stoinis tonight. He's had a lot of starts and then thrown his wicket away. He has definitely decided he's going to see this through all the way tonight. Came out to the crease. His team were in dire straits. What were they? 3 for 20 something, if that, when Stoinis came out to the crease. And he has guided this back on track. 3 for 14 they were. God, it was even worse. It was worse than I remember it being. 3 for 14 when Stoinis came to the crease. And they are now 3 for 77 and well on top here, the Stars. Lawrence is playing his role, but it's really been Stoinis that's controlling things here. Ten overs gone. We're halfway through this run chase. 73 runs needed off 60 balls. 7.3 runs and over. And there are still overs to come from Paul Walter. Still overs to come from Prestwich. Still overs to come from Kuhneman. The Brisbane Heat might just have to think about turning to Bartlett and or Spencer Johnson earlier than they anticipated. There's no point really just meandering along and letting the Stars dictate terms here. I think, in all honesty, they've got to take a risk. If they want to defend a low total, they've got to take a risk here, and they've got to turn to Bartlett or Johnson earlier than they really want to and try and get a breakthrough here. Prestwich to Stoinis. Bends it back down the pitch for no run. "73 runs off 59. 3 for 77. I did change my tip at the very last minute. For those who might have been here at the start of the stream, I changed my tip from the Heat to the Stars at the very last second. And it looked like they were going to let me down here. But they're going well at the moment. Stoinis cuts it away. Uppishly played, but it's short of the man out there at point on the boundary. And they come back for 2. Stoinis moves to 37 of 26. And it is the Marcus Stoinis show at the moment here for the Stars. 3 for 14 when he came to the crease. Is now 3 for 79. Short ball. Stoinis pulls it away. Just the one. Three for 80. Cruising along here, the Stars. They don't need to do anything stupid. Stars have got a power surge and Maxwell to come. There were concerns around Maxwell. He tweaked his ankle or his knee or some little tweak to his leg somewhere when he was fielding. But it seems like he's okay. He's all padded up. Drifting onto the legs here. Lawrence turns it away. Just the single. 4 runs from this over so far. Cruising along here. Prestwich, none for 17 off his 2.4. Wide outside off stump. Stoinis slashes at it. Beats third man for 4. Max Bryant diving in the outfield. Can't cut it off. A solid effort. Stoinis riding his luck now. Three for 85. 10 4s and no 6s yet from this run chase. 65 required from 55 balls. Final ball here of Prestwich's third. It's fallen on the stumps. And Stoinis just lifts it back to the bowler. 3 for 85 after 11. Looking very, very good here now, the Stars. .22, the required run rate. Boy. The Brisbane Heat. Oh, they've turned to Paul Walter. Well, I don't understand this. Paul Walter is getting another over with Stoinis out there. Lawrence, look for him to push a single. And then it's Stoinis versus Walter. This could be the key over. This game could be all over very quickly if Stoinis gets hold of Walter. Slower ball. Lawrence cuts it away, looking for the quick single. Swepson charges in. Makes sure that they don't get the run. This is a really interesting call to go to Walter. I mean, in all honesty, I think the Brisbane Heat need to show a little bit more aggression and turn to Bartlett or Johnson. Lawrence cuts it away and it beats the circle for 4. It's past backward point and it races away for 4. Lawrence is getting involved now. Well, poor tall Paul, honestly. He was always going to be one of the bowlers targeted with Kuhneman and Prestwich, and I'm afraid it just has not been the night for Paul Walter. I can't understand why they've gone back to him. Lawrence charges down the pitch, cuts it away through the gap for 4. Back-to-back boundaries again here for the Stars. Melbourne looking very good now. And poor Paul Walter, you've got to feel sorry for him. You've got to feel sorry for any bowler who just comes out and gets absolutely blown off the park. We were talking about it about 5 or 6 overs ago. We were talking about where the Stars are going to get all their runs. And we said Kuhneman, we said Walter, we said Prestwich. And poor Walter, 1.4 overs, none for 26. And now Stoinis is on strike. Lawrence moves to 30 off 22. Stoinis, can he get his 50 up off this over? Walter to Stoinis. Ball, and on middle stump, driven down the ground for 4. Thank you very much, says Stoinis. Moves to 46. Walter. Oh, God, you've got to feel so sorry for him. He seems like such a lovely big bloke, and he's getting absolutely tonked here tonight. GG, thank you very much for the follow. All right, 46 runs now for Stoinis. A slower ball outside of stump, and he knows he's missed out there. Stoinis rocks his head back in frustration. Edges it down to fine leg for a single. Stoinis moves to 47. Paul Walter, 2 overs, none for 31. Has been taken to the cleaners. Stoinis has the strike for the next over. The Melbourne Stars, that required run rate closing into around 6 and over now, 6.38. 51 runs needed off the last 8 overs, with 7 wickets still in the dugout. Let's not forget, 3 for 14. The Melbourne Stars were 3 for 14. Xavier, Bartlett, and Spencer Johnson have been doing all the damage. And, well, here we go. Finally, I talked about this, 2-3 overs ago? Finally, the Brisbane Heat have decided to take the risk, and they've turned to their best bowler so far tonight, Xavier Bartlett. 2 for 6 of his 2 overs. I feel like they've left it an over or two too late, because they need to find a wicket here. Bartlett to Stoinis. Stoinis chops it down for no run. They've just left it an over or two too late here, the Heat. They really needed to take the gamble slightly earlier. Because even a wicket now, they've just they've got all those free gift runs off Paul Walter. Even a wicket here. They've just left too much to do for their bowlers at the back end. Bartlett starts well, though, with the dot ball. Stoinis on 47. Hangs the bat out, and it beats the edge. Well, this is exactly why they needed to do this sooner. Beautifully bowled by Xavier Bartlett. They have to go all or nothing now, the Heat. They've got to bowl these 2 out. Bartlett and Spencer Johnson. Bartlett straightens him up and misses the edge, only just. Bartlett in again, beautifully bowled, fended back, straight down the pitch. Another dot ball. They can just see them off here, though, is the problem. By bowling that extra over of Paul Walter, that extra over of Prestwich, before they've returned to the big bowling threats, the Stars are in a position now where they can just see these 2 off comfortably and still chase this down. And they've still got the power surge up their sleeve as well. Let's not forget that. And Maxwell to come. Bartlett, 3 dot balls to start. Stoinis goes the big hit, gets the top edge. Down to third man on the bounce, just a single. Stoinis moves to 48. That was frustration there, Stoinis. A big premeditated swing of that. Lucky to get away with it in the end. The 100 is up for the Stars. 50 runs needed or 44 balls. Lawrence on strike now. 2 left in this over for Bartlett. Lawrence moves across the stumps. And it bounces over the top. Well, this is risky stuff. The premeditated hoik from Stoinis, the ball before. And now Lawrence moving across to the offside and leaving the stumps exposed. This is some risky stuff from the Stars. They might still be determined to throw this away, the Melbourne Stars. I can't understand that at all. The logic behind this, these last 2 strokes. Bartlett in again. Final ball of the over. Hits the pad. Big appeal, but it's going down leg side. What an over from Xavier Bartlett, though. 3 for 100, 1 run from it. Bartlett is 2 for 7 off 3 overs. And they're going to have a look. Well, with 1 second left on the DRS timer, Colin Munro says, we'll have a look. Look, I think it's going way down the leg side. At best, for the Heat, this will be umpire's call. And umpire had given it not out. So, at best, it'll be umpire's call, and they will retain the challenge for later on. But this seemed pretty clearly going down the leg side. It pitches on leg, hits him high on the knee roll. Well, it's a little bit closer than I gave it credit for initially, but I think missing the stumps here. It's actually going to be pretty close. This might be umpire's call. Oh, he's edged it. That's why. He's edged it. He's got an inside edge on it. Review gone. Three for 100 here. The Melbourne Stars. 50 more runs needed off the last 7 overs to finally break their drought. Marcus Rogers, yes, Channel 7. Swepson back into the attack, went for 13 off his first over. So it's a bold call. Honestly, I would have gone for... I honestly would have gone for Spencer Johnson. They have to go all or nothing here, the Heat. They need wickets. Turn to your best bowlers. Swepson tosses it up for Stoinis to punch it through the offside for 1. Settles for 1. Stoinis moves to 49. It's been a captain's knock tonight for Stoinis. 3 for 14 were the Melbourne Stars when Stoinis came to the crease. Lawrence turns it away to the leg side for another single. Here we go. Stoinis on strike. 49 of 36. Can he bring up his 50? A power surge still to play. Maxwell still to come. 48 from 40 needed. Swepson to Stoinis. Turns it off the legs for one. There's his 50. Marcus Stoinis. A captain's knock and a half tonight. 50 runs off 37 balls. Came to the crease when they were 3 for 14, as we just said. And all hope looked lost. And Marcus Stoinis, in combination with Lawrence here, has turned it around. Lawrence lifts it down to long off for one. This was the innings that Marcus Stoinis needed. He's got off to a lot of starts and then thrown his wicket away. It was crucial tonight that he went on with it. Stoinis pulls it away for one. Happy to just take the singles here. 46 off 38. Happy to take the ones. Marcus Rogers, thank you very much for the follow. As we creep ever closer to 1,000 followers on TikTok. Waste a World of Sports, of course, live on TikTok, live on YouTube, live on Facebook, live on Twitch, as Lawrence steps back in the crease and pulls this away for four. Ends the over with a boundary. Lawrence moves to 36 now, sorry. 3 for 109, 14 overs gone. The Stars looks like they're going to break their run of losses, get their first win of the season. What an interesting way to start the year, right? The Sydney Sixers copped their first defeat of BBL 14, and it's looking very likely that the Melbourne Stars are about to get their first win of BBL 14. So we've had a team suffer their first loss and one get their first win on the exact same day. Spencer Johnson into the attack. It has to happen. It had to happen. They've got to go for the jugular now, the Brisbane Heat. They're not going to win this game by sitting back and letting the Stars punch singles and then call the power surge. They've got to go for it now and get wickets. I'm surprised there's not even a slip in place. Swing and a miss from Stoinis, outside off. Right on target immediately, Spencer Johnson. I would have a slip in place, really. I don't understand it. Honestly, I understand in T20 by having a slip in place, you're creating a gap somewhere else on the field. But they've got to go for wickets here, the Heat. They need wickets. The worst thing that could happen is an edge through the vacant slip cordon right now. They've got to have a slip in place. Simple as that. 3 for 109, Johnson to Stoinis. Big swing and a miss at this. Oh, he's tried to send it over the stadium. And it's only just missed the stumps. Stoinis has lost his head there. Doesn't want to throw it away at this point. It would be a gift wicket. They've just got to see Spencer Johnson and Xavier Bartlett off here, the Stars. They're well on top. And again, Stoinis goes for the big swing, gets the inside edge, back past the stumps, and races away to the fine leg boundary for four. Unlucky here, back-to-back for Johnson. Stoinis has lost his head, but he's getting away with it. Riding his luck all the way here. Three for 113. I still think they need a slip in. I am just waiting for that edge through this vacant slip cordon. Johnson into Stoinis. Bangs it in short. Over the head of the keeper. Over the head of everyone. And they'll come through for a single. And it might even be called a wide, that one. And it is a wide, and they come through for the single. A century partnership here for Lawrence and Stoinis. Once again, I restate, they were 3 for 14 when these two started their partnership at the crease. 3 for 115 now. 101 runs off 68 balls. An amazing turnaround. 35 needed off 33 now. Johnson to Lawrence. Nice in-swinging ball. Beats the bat. Lawrence cops it on the hip there. Dot ball. I stand by my call that they just left it a few overs too late to return to Bartlett and Johnson. Here, the Heat. They just got it a little bit wrong. Defending a low total. Johnson, nice full delivery. A little bit of a movement away from the batsman. Turned away to the offside for 1. Stoinis versus Johnson. 34 off 31. They've just got to see off this over. Johnson to Stoinis, beats him, and it's a dot ball to finish. 34 needed off 30 balls. 7 wickets left in the dugout. Johnson can't make the breakthrough. He's frustrated, is Spencer Johnson. We're starting to see the villain come out in him now. We talk about Spencer Johnson being the good-looking guy in a Disney movie that tries to win over the heart of the princess, but then turns out to be evil. We just saw a little glimpse of the evil side of Spencer Johnson coming out there in his frustration. Three for 116, 15 overs gone, 34 runs needed off 30 balls. Power surge left to play. Kuhnemann into the bowling attack. Well, I would have called it now. But mind you, if they called the power surge, they wouldn't have bowled Kuhnemann. That's for certain. Kuhnemann to Lawrence. 34 or 30. Down the pitch, Lawrence dances, turns it away for 1 to the leg side. Kuhnemann fields his own bowling well there. They'll be targeting this over, I would say, to bring that required run rate down to the 6 and over. $33 needed off 29. Stoinis, 55 or 42. Stoinis steps back, gives himself room, punches it down the ground. They'll push for 2 here, and that's extremely well run. Ollie is the best. It's been a fantastic first day of the year. How about yourself, mate? Three for 119. Stoinis backs away, gives himself room again. Cuts it to the offside. They come back for 2 again. Pushing the runs nicely. Zoe02, thank you very much for the heart. A heart me on TikTok. Zoe, 1 heart me. You heart me, I heart you. Cheers, Zoe. 3 balls left in this over. Kuhnemann. Stoinis happy to just pat it back to the bowler. Through for the single. 6 off this over so far. 28 needed off 26. Playing it very smartly here, the Stars. They almost lost their heads against Bartlett and Johnson. But that's the pressure that Bartlett and Johnson are able to put on. Down the track goes Lawrence. Doesn't quite get hold of it. And it's just enough over the head of the man at long on. 6 runs. It was a risky shot in the end. But Lawrence gets just enough on it. And it's over the head of Bartlett at long on, 80 metres. And the required run rate now under 6 and over. 1 ball left. He goes again, Lawrence. This has gone up in the air. Has it got the distance? Bartlett comes around underneath it, but it beats him over the rope again. Back-to-back sixes. Lawrence brings up his 50. 50 or 32, 18 runs off that over. They've gone after Kuhneman. They've gone after Walter. They've gone after Prestwich. Exactly as we discussed. Exactly as how it's played out. 50 for Lawrence to join the 50 of Stoinis. 3 for 14 they were when these two started their partnership, and all looked lost for the Melbourne Stars. Thinking, once again, how have they thrown a game away? Marcus Stoinis with a captain's knock. And Lawrence has been complimenting him perfectly. "16 runs is all that's needed now." I wouldn't do anything different, really, Will. They probably don't need to. Keep that power surge in case something goes absolutely haywire. Spencer Johnson back into the bowling attack. See him off. Take the singles, call the surge the next over. But I wouldn't do too much different. They're travelling along well. Don't change it. Johnson into Stoinis. Picks out big Paul Walter there on the circle, who fires it back in. They come through for a single. The required run rate is 4 and over. If it's working out, yeah, don't do anything different. They might not even need to use the power surge here. "15 of 23. Johnson to Lawrence. Bangs it in short. Lawrence goes after him. And it's a dot ball. Lawrence is 50 of 33. Stoinis 61 of 46. What a knock it's been from Stoinis. Well, Lawrence as well. Let's not discredit what Lawrence has done, but Stoinis, it was important as the captain that he came through tonight. "15 of 22 and a little bit of stoppage. There's some goof run out onto the field. Ah, no, checking for a no ball. Okay. I thought somebody had run out onto the field, maybe. Stoinis looks very unimpressed. Everybody's unimpressed at the moment. We just want to get on with things. Three for 135. 15 needed off 22 balls. Johnson, full ball on off stump. Punched away from Lawrence into the gap. It's at least 2, should be 3, maybe even 4. It races over the outfield. Races over the surface for 4. And against Spencer Johnson, that's a big, big 4. 11 runs to win now. The Melbourne Stars are going to break the losing streak on the same day, the first day of the year, that the Sydney Sixers lost their winning streak. This is insane. What a difference of fortunes it's been for the two teams, top and bottom of the ladder so far, as Lawrence goes hard at it, gets the top edge, and it's over the keeper's head, landing safely. Well, when it's your night, it's your night. And those balls are landing the way of the Stars tonight. 2 balls left here in this Spencer Johnson over. And that'll be him done. This is his last over. 10 runs to win. Johnson bangs it in short. That could be a wide. And it's called a wide. Well, this is Spencer Johnson, when the pressure's on, and this was the problem with saving him, they held him back too late. Spencer Johnson is still young, and he has a tendency to just lose the plot a little bit when the pressure's on. They needed to turn to Johnson and Bartlett a lot sooner, in my opinion. And now Johnson's not bowling well. Right in the slot, Stoinis slogs it away, but there's a man back there. It will just be one. 9 runs to win now for the Stars. Oh, 8 runs, sorry. 19 deliveries to go. Spencer Johnson, 1 for 24. Last ball of his spell. Glenn Maxwell's been sitting there with his helmet on for a long time, waiting to come in. 3 for 14, remember. Very early in the power play. Johnson with his last ball. Lawrence lobs it up in the air, over the top of mid-on and mid-off. Straight down the ground for 4. 4 runs to win now. 3 for 146. And the Melbourne Stars are nearly there. They're nearly home. 1 big hit now is all it's going to take. Ham and Cheese asks if another wicket will fall. I can't imagine it will. If another wicket was going to fall, it was most likely going to be Spencer Johnson or Xavier Bartlett who make the breakthrough, but I feel like it's done now. But, well, Bartlett into the bowling attack. 4 runs needed off 18 balls. Xavier Bartlett into bowl. These 2 batsmen, though, 47 balls from Stoinis, 36 from Lawrence. I can't imagine that they'll throw their wicket away here. Stoinis seemed determined from the outset to see this one through tonight, and he's played a brilliant captain's knock. It'd be a shame to see him throw it away now. Bartlett into Stoinis. Slashes at it, gets the top edge, and it's caught. Well, you wouldn't believe it. Talk about the commentator's curse. Stoinis top edges it down to third man, and he's out. Well, I mean, at least I was right about Xavier Bartlett being the man to get a wicket if anybody's going to. Oh, you wouldn't believe it. You wouldn't believe it. Marcus Stoinis goes hard at that one outside off stump. And it's an easy catch down at third man. Stoinis has done his job, though. 62 of 48 balls. 4 runs needed to win of 17 deliveries. Marcus Stoinis officially hates you, Jason Hayden. Unbelievable. Ham and Cheese, I'm a Brisbane Heat supporter, but I tipped the Melbourne Stars to break their drought tonight. I just had a feeling. You can't lose forever, right? The Stars had to win one eventually, and I just had a feeling it would be tonight. So I go for the Brisbane Heat, but I'm also, I'd like to think that I'm smart enough to tip without just blindly going for my own team. Bartlett into Maxwell. Bangs it in short. Maxwell is caught on the circle. Back-to-back wickets. Renshaw takes a brilliant catch, diving to his right. Glenn Maxwell's out for a golden duck. They can't possibly lose from here, surely, right? They can't possibly lose this. 5 for 146. Xavier Bartlett's on a hat-trick. They still need 4 to win. Maxwell and Stoinis are gone back-to-back. What a catch from Renshaw. Standing at mid-on the circle, diving to his right. And they've now lost 2 wickets when I said that they surely wouldn't lose another one. They can't possibly lose this, surely. It is just not physically possible. 4 runs to win, 16 balls to go, 5 wickets left. And Xavier Bartlett is on a hat-trick. Hilton Cartwright out to the crease. This is incredible. See, well, this is what I was talking about. They should have gone to Bartlett and Johnson a lot earlier. They just waited too long. They gave Paul Walter too many overs in between. Imagine if this happened still with 50 or 60 runs left to get. It'd still be game on. Surely the Stars, though, still win from here. Bartlett on a hat-trick to Hilton Cartwright. In he steams, and it's wide down the leg side. Well, what an anti-climax. Wide down the leg side on the hat-trick ball. 3 to win now for the Stars. Five for 147. 3 runs to win. Bartlett has bowled very, very well, yeah, and Bartlett was fantastic in a losing effort last time out as well for the Heat. 3 runs to win. Bartlett has the do-over, bangs it in short, edged. A big appeal from behind the stumps, not given. Oh, a swing and a miss from Cartwright. Must have come off the helmet because there was a clear noise. There was a big sound through to the keeper. I thought it was edged. The Heat fielders thought it was edged. It must have hit the helmet. Let's have a look. Replay. Bangs it in short, and it's off the helmet. Helmet through to the keeper. Still 3 runs to win. They are eking this out. They're making everybody wait. Bartlett to Cartwright. Drifts onto the pads. Cartwright pushes it away to the leg side for 1. 2 runs to win now. And Lawrence, the set batsman, 59 off 36. They've certainly not made it as easy as it should have been here, the Stars. Two runs needed or 14. Bartlett to Lawrence. I reckon it's all over this ball, I reckon. Lawrence will send it over the fence. Well, he turns it away off the pads for 1. They can't lose now, the Stars. Do they push for the 2? They don't. They settle for the 1. They can't lose. Worst case scenario, it's a miracle super over. But the Melbourne Stars can't lose. 1 run needed off 13 balls. Hilton Cartwright back on strike. I don't really understand why they didn't push for the 2 there. They probably would have made it. But anyway, not to worry. 1 run to win. The Melbourne Stars can't lose. Bartlett to Cartwright. Ball and just missing the stumps as he beats Cartwright. Cuts him in half. And they're certainly stretching this out. 18 overs gone. 5 for 149. Lawrence will be on strike. And the Brisbane Heat have no bowlers left is the problem. Xavier Bartlett and Spencer Johnson both have bowled their 4 overs. So who do they turn to? Kuhneman, Walter, Prestwich, Swepson. They've all been absolutely tonked around the stadium. Cruiser, ahoy mate. Power surge has been called. The power surge has been, well, it had to be called. They had no choice. There's only 2 overs left. The power surge is called. 1 run needed of 12 balls. Lawrence on strike to Prestwich. Prestwich, none for 21 off his 3 overs so far. A wicket here would make things very interesting. They should have a slip in place here. Third man needs to come up. There's only 1 run needed. For the love of God, bring third man up into the slips. An edge through the vacant slips down to third man means nothing at this point for the Heat. Prestwich, full toss on the legs, turned away for the boundary, and that is the winning of the match officially. Lawrence. The Melbourne Stars on the exact same day that the Sydney Sixers suffer their first defeat. The Melbourne Stars have got their first victory. 5 for 153. They've finally chased it down with an over and 5 deliveries to spare and 5 wickets left in the dugouts. 3 for 14 at one point. 3 for 14 in the power play. And a century stand from Stoinis and Lawrence turned the game back in the favour of the Melbourne Stars. Stoinis ended up throwing his wicket away, but he'd done the hard work. He'll be disappointed. Naturally, he'll be disappointed about it, Marcus Stoinis, for not seeing that all the way through. And it certainly made for some intriguing final overs there at the back end. Whereas the Cruiser, you can't believe you went against the Hurricanes and they won. It's always the way, isn't it, right? Always the way. All right, Wasted World of Sports, thank you so much for joining us here on this New Year's Day. What a couple of games it's been, right? The Sydney Sixers suffer their first defeat, and the Melbourne Stars get their first win. BBL 14 is heating up, so to speak. It's anybody's competition, really. Everybody now has got wins on the board. The Melbourne Stars, with that victory, are certainly not out of finals contention. This BBL 14, it's going to go down to the wire. Oh, thank you very much, Logan. You just sent 800 likes. Cheers, mate. I'll happily take your word for that because I don't know where to see that. But you've got absolutely no reason to joke about it, so I thank you, Logan. All right. Wasted World of Sports, thank you for your company here. As always, Renegades versus the Strikers coming up next. Well, not tonight, but I mean the next game. And we'll be back to cover that. Catch you next time. Until then, cheers.